All right, welcome, one and all. Denver James here, and I'm doing my Black Friday game streaming right now. I'm going to give a minute or two for a couple of you to pop on. Won't wait too long, so that those of you that are rewatching this after it's been live, you're not going to have to sit through 2 minutes of me jabbering. But I'm so excited that you guys are jumping on. If you're new to the channel, my name is Denver James. I do a lot of game reviews, card games, board games, dice games, you name it. I am here for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to do some hunting for some bargain deals on games over the Black Friday season. Now, as you guys know, used to back in the day when you did Black Friday shopping, it was one night, Thursday night, really, if you wanted to get started at an early pace, but it was one night in one day, Black Friday, to get all of your shopping done. And we all know the horror stories that have happened in Black Friday's past, people getting trampled, people getting knocked over because you only had one chance to get the stuff that you wanted. But now times have changed. We're living in a digital media landscape where everybody puts sales on 2 weeks in advance. And now here's Amazon. As of the recording of this video, day one of Black Friday deals are being released all across the internet. So I'm here today. I'm here tonight, late this evening. For some of you, it's going to be later. For others, earlier, to walk you through some sales that I found on Amazon for some pretty awesome games. Now, again, if you're new to the channel and you'd like to follow more videos like this one, feel free to subscribe so you can see more videos like this one. Typically, I do pre-recorded, edited videos. This is my second stream this year ever. So if you'd like more of these, let me know in the comments. And if you're in the comments, you're popping in tonight, say hello, and maybe ask me to look up a game. Let me know what your favorite games are, and I would love to do some hunting with you. So here's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to switch over our screen here. I'm using StreamYard, which is awesome. All right, now you should be getting a pretty good view of my Amazon screen right there. So right off the bat, what we're going to start with is some Exploding Kittens. Now, I'm not just looking up Exploding Kittens, the specific game, but you'll find you go on Amazon, you look up Exploding Kittens, it's going to bring up all kinds of games associated with that company. So right off the bat, let's look at this. Imploding Kittens, right off the bat, $8.49, super cheap for that expansion pack. I think it runs, Amazon right here says that it runs at a retail of $9.99. Usually it's $14.99 to $17.99. That's the price that it's been for a long time. I know that sometimes, not just at Amazon, sometimes those list prices adjust to be a little shorter around the holiday season. I have seen this run for $15 most of the time. We've got $8.49 on that. We've got the Streaking Kittens expansion pack, $4.99. This is really cheap. Now, even though it's a little sleeve of cards and it doesn't come with a lot of cards, it's a hot commodity. And so even though it's listed for $7, usually end up paying a little extra for it. And so pretty awesome here, listed at $6.99, on sale for $4.99. If you were to ask me, I'm a huge Exploding Kittens fan. I would say that Streaking Kittens is the best Exploding Kittens expansion out there. So for $4.99, for some of the best cards in the game, you really cannot beat that. We go a little further down. We got Mantis card game for $12.96, an amazing game for ruining your friendships. I mean, just look at this right here. You got a lot of big games like Throw Avocado. Now, games like this, you know, it's a big box, and I know that annoys some people, but this is actually a game that justifies the size because it comes with a lot. You got a ton of cards. You got the plush avocados. We're talking $11.99 for this. Is really cheap. We've got the accompanying Exploding Kittens Block Burrito expansion pack for $9.99 without fail. Essentially, what you'll notice is that Exploding Kittens, the website, does a lot of sales for this time of year. And Amazon, awesome as they are, always try to compete with those sales by putting a lot of their stuff on sale of that same product. And you'll notice on here that everything is literally slashed. We're looking at pretty much every Exploding Kittens product 50% off, which is just amazing. I mean, a game of cat and mouse by Exploding Kittens, a little wordy is about $3 off. Not a whole lot right there, but it's a couple of bucks off, but just some amazing deals. We got I'm a Little Krabby. I just reviewed that game recently. That is $9.99 out of a regular $20. Hoppy Salmon, haven't played that yet. Got the original, don't have that one, but some amazing deals. Now, one thing I would like to look up here is some Here to Slay unstable games. I just recently had the joy of watching a group of my friends play some Here to Slay. I forgot to tell them that it had all the expansion packs in it, and it was going to be a long night. Let's just say that. But let's look at these expansion packs right here. We've got the Here to Slay Warriors and Druids expansion pack, $8.49. Super cheap, out of a possible $12. Another Unstable Games expansion pack for Here to Slay Berserker and Necromancer for $8.49 out of 12. And I mean, if you look at this right here, Happy Little Dinosaurs. I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but Happy Little Dinosaurs has just been taking off on the internet. I did a review of this game probably about 2 years ago, and the video kind of sat dormant for a little while, and now it's just taking off. Apparently, a lot of people are playing it. It's got almost 20,000 views on my channel, which for me is a lot. So that's pretty cool. So we're looking at Happy Little Dinosaur, trying to find the base game to get an idea. Here we go. So we don't have any deals on Happy Little Dinosaurs. You'll notice right there, purchased in November 2022. So it was about a little over 2 years ago. But that game currently is not on sale, which is a bummer because it's a fun one. But apparently their expansion packs are on sale. Now, one game that I've really enjoyed here recently has been the Splendor card game. I don't know if you guys have played that one before. Super fun, especially if you like collecting gems and you like a currency-based game. It's a lot of fun. Let's get more specific here. Splendor card game. There we go. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so if you didn't notice, this just randomly popped up. Not Splendor, but the next best thing. We got Exploding Kittens, the original edition, in a collectible tin. This is really cool. I just recently bought this myself, and super excited about that. It's a really nice casing. $14.99 out of a possible $20 for Exploding Kittens. That's a really good deal. I'm not seeing Splendor listed for Black Friday sales. If you notice right here in this tab, we've got it specifically set to Black Friday. So if it's not on sale, it's not going to pop up. And that's totally fine because we don't want to be deceived. Now, let's look up some Uno card games. Here recently, I bought Uno Show 'em No Mercy. A review coming soon, by the way. That game has probably got to have one of the best names for a game ever. Show 'em No Mercy. The title says it all. But if we look down here, we've got a lot of different versions of Uno. We got Mattel Games Uno Attack card game. Personally, I have never played that one. It just looks like a little too much chaos for me, but that's okay. One that I've actually had review requests from quite a few of you for before is Uno Ultimate Marvel. This one, surprisingly, I'm not normally into like big IP branded games. If it's something from Marvel or Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, I tend to not review stuff like that. I like to do a lot of game reviews that are based off of the original entities, like Exploding Minions. You haven't seen that on the channel yet, taken from the Exploding Kittens company because it's got minions in it. I normally don't like reviewing that sort of thing. But Uno Ultimate Marvel is one that, like I said, I've gotten a lot of requests for. A lot of people early back in the day, about a year and a half ago, were asking for this game. Probably should have reviewed it. Probably could have gotten some good discussion out of it and some good viewership, but I didn't. It's on sale for $6.99 out of $15, which is awesome. I believe, I mean, I got a tired brain tonight, but I believe that's over 50% off for that game. So a great deal. Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. If you've never played that game before, let's put it this way. If you get your nails did, or you've got, lotion on your hands because you're healing from the winter chap, I want to encourage you, don't try this game around winter. Your hands will bleed, but I'm telling you, such a fun game. $7.99 out of a possible $10. That's not too bad at all. Got a lot of classic games like Connect 4, Monopoly, Deal. We got Taco versus Burrito. This has always looked like a super fun game. Haven't played it. It's been around for a long time, and I'm just super late to the party with that game and kind of embarrassed to pick it up and review it at this point. But we've got $15.98 out of a possible $20. We got Uno Ultimate DC coming up. Not nearly as cheap as the Marvel one, but still $9.49 out of a possible $15. Not bad. So one game I want to look up is some Catan board games. If you're a Catan player at all, you'll know that Catan's kind of stingy. They always have been. If you ever look at Catan, you're lucky to find it on sale for $40 around the holidays because that's just how it is. But who knows? Something magical might happen this year. We've got the Catan dice game, $8.49, retail price $15. If you have not played the Catan dice game, you are seriously missing out. This, in a lot of times, is actually my favorite way to play Catan. Catan dice is a blast because I don't know about you, but you get a game of Catan going with 4 players, or the expansion 5 or 6 players. you're playing that game for a really, really long time. It can be exhausting, but with Catan Dice, it gives you all the joy of playing Catan, but within like 10 minutes. And it's super fun because it's a lot more heavily based on dice, as opposed to the base game where you have the 2 dice and it's really based upon where you're building. This game focuses more on the actual dice rolls. It's actually how you get your resources because there's no cards in this game. It is not a Catan card game. It's a Catan dice game, hence the name. But it's an amazing version of Catan Play, $8.49 out of 15. That is actually super cheap. And then if we scroll a little further down, Catan Legend of the Conquerors Scenario Expansion, $33 out of $46.99. Not bad at all. If you're feeling bougie, they have the Catan Hexa Tower, yellow, for $14.99 out of 20. That's not bad. I'm not seeing a lot of Catan games on sale right now, which, just like I said, sometimes they disappoint. Sometimes they don't give you what you want. You know, it's like, give me a Catan game for under $40 and I'll be super happy. But Play 9, so super awesome game, $15.19 out of $18.99. Cool thing about Play 9, when I first started the channel, they were actually one of the very first companies to reach out to me for a game review. They were actually second. The first one would have been Power Switch, I believe was the name. Not as well of a well-known game, but it's still some fun. But Play 9, the company reached out to me as the second game to reach out, game company. And at that time, I was a little yancy about taking on new game deals because, you know, you get requests all the time. Weekly, I get all kinds of requests for Kickstarter games and different stuff like that. And, you know, you just have to be picky choosy because there's a ton out there, right? Games are getting made all the time. So with Play 9, I was like, I don't know. We'll see. I'm not really into golf, but let's give it a shot. Ended up getting the game, loving it, and reviewing it, and then realized that Play 9 was actually kind of a huge deal. Probably one of the largest companies that I've ever worked with, next to and behind Doomlings and Exploding Kittens. So pretty awesome. But Play 9, $15.19 out of a $19 retail price. Not bad at all. And so what I'd like to look up now, I feel like we didn't get to look at nearly as many unstable games. Now, if you start any search on Amazon with the word unstable, you're always going to find something fun. So let's look up unstable games. Here we go. Like I said, the Happy Dinosaurs expansions, $10.49 out of 15. Not bad at all. We get the Chameleon, $18.99 out of a $25 game. Command of Nature. This is a game that's, if I believe I'm right, pretty new. Let's see if we can find a year to dates for this game in the description of this game. We're going to scroll down here to the details. Some of you watching already might have found the date already, but I'm not seeing it just yet. Let's see. Where is the timestamp on this? Normally it's right down here at the bottom of the game. But what I do know is it's newer because I go to Target and Walmart a lot just to kind of sniff out new games because a lot of these bigger stores, they'll get a lot of these games on the shelf pretty quick when it's a popular company. And this was a game that very, very recently popped up. Command of Nature looks super cool. Obviously, you can't beat the Unstable Games artwork. Definitely one of my favorites. Whoa. Well, let's take a look at this for a moment. This is kind of cool. This is kind of giving me some Yu-Gi-Oh vibes. Any Yu-Gi-Oh game players out there? I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh a lot with my friends back in the day. Give me a shout out in the comments if you are a big Yu-Gi-Oh fan. This is kind of giving me some Yu-Gi-Oh vibes because you got those, I don't know what you want to call them, those mats on the table, right? And you're kind of building up your cards on them. It looks like it's heavily card based. 4.6 stars. That's not bad, but 40% off. I mean, that is not bad at all. 40% off. That's super cheap, especially for a new game. And that's the thing. With a lot of these games that are newer, this is an amazing time to buy because I don't know about you, but I don't exactly have a lot of money to blow on a ton of games. Games are expensive. When we look at games like, Catan, like I mentioned, for example, they get super expensive. And, around the holiday season, it's a great opportunity to pick up newer games because they're going to stay at retail price for most of the time throughout the year, especially when they're in their first year or two of being marketed. But a game like Command of Nature, super cheap. Casting Shadows. This is another one that's pretty new. Whoa, this one's got 5 perfect stars. You rarely ever see that on any game on Amazon because either the game sucks enough for a few people to complain or it's too difficult for most people to learn. The thing that I'll say about Unstable Games, it's not a bad thing at all. They heavily embrace the Yu-Gi-Oh style gameplay of just really hyper competitive, a lot of card deck building and stuff like that. Not really card deck building like your own personal deck, but it's all about collecting and stacking cards and being really strategic. A lot of their games lean heavily into that, and it looks like it's a similar thing with this one. But this one looks super fun. Again, for a game to have a perfect score of 5 stars, 4.8 stars. Pretty impressive. Let's look at the punch date on that. Item details. Let's see when this puppy was released. Features and specs. Man, where would that be? You can tell that I just did all the pre-work before this live stream started. Look at these games. I think Amazon switched something around to me because used to the date for it would be right there. But you're talking super cheap. Casting Shadows can't be any older than a year based off of what I've seen of it in the stores. Pretty awesome. Oh boy, here we go. So I got to give a shout out to one of my favorite game companies ever. I love video games too, by the way. I said video games, not what I meant. I love video games. Playing the Jedi games right now. But if you look at Doomlings, for example, Doomlings is $19.99 on sale from a typical $24.85. When we talk about games being on sale, there's a lot of games that even if they're slashed, they were kind of expensive to begin with. And now that they're on sale, it's kind of like, well, now it's actually at a price that I think the game is worth. But when you look at Doomlings is not one of those games. Doomlings, honestly, is one of those games that manages to have some sort of sale going on almost all the time. And the amount of cards that you get for your money is insane. When you look at that Doomlings box, it is chock full of cards. I mean, the thing is loaded with cards. And I've played through the base game alone without the expansions several times. And the game continues to stay fresh. And then you add on expansions, and there's so much more to it. So you look at it right now, $19.99 out of a possible $24.85. Really great price on that. What I actually would like to look up, let's look up some Doomlings expansions, because I think that's worth a look. If you've not looked up Doomlings or played it before, I strongly encourage you to check it out. It is seriously one of the best games you can play. So right here, we've got the Doomlings card game Deluxe bundle. Now, this thing's a whopper. This thing's got the mat. It's got the Doomlings Upgrade Box, 5 expansions that come included with that, and then a special deluxe edition version of the Doomlings game. $47.99 out of $70. Now, some of you might look at that price tag and think, oof, that's a little too high. And you know what? If you've not played it before, it's a new game. I get it. It's not always fun paying that much money up front for a game they haven't played before. But I'm telling you, this is a steal to get all of that for $47.99. An amazing deal. And I'm not just saying that because I love them. They're awesome. I love Doomlings. But we look at the Doomlings card game, Imaginary Ends expansion. This is a recent expansion. Again, when we talk about brand new expansions, brand new games that have come out and then going on sale during the holidays, this is another one of those examples. Doomlings Imaginary Ends just dropped just months ago, actually, just this year. And I mean, come on, look at that artwork. Isn't that just amazing? Doesn't it just make you want to play it? Let's just zoom in on that. Check that out. It's an amazing game, super vibrant and colorful, and really fun. Guys, this is a game that you would be amiss to miss, and you've really got to check this one out. So 20% off, $19.99. Again, 20% off might not seem like a lot, but a brand new expansion. It comes loaded with variety expansions, a ton of new cards. I believe the word on the street is it has just as many cards as the base game itself, so you're quite literally doubling the cards in your Doomlings game set if you get that expansion. Down here, same thing. We got the upgrade pack, comes loaded with cards, $19.99 out of a possible $25, and the Overlush Mystery expansion pack. I own all of these, so I can proudly say as a very happy customer that these expansion packs and games are amazing. If you're not on the Doomlings bandwagon yet, strongly encourage you to check it out. And one thing that Doomlings is great with too is they've got a lot of gear for their game. You've got a Playmat carrying bag, which is just so bougie and so awesome. I played enough. I should get it. You got the Doomlings card game Playmats, which if you have played it before, you know that perhaps the only downside, the downside is still a good thing. There's so many cards to play with. You just have cards everywhere all over the table. So these mats kind of help you keep it under control. Again, that's a bit of a steep price for some of you, depending on if it's a new game to you, but out of a possible $65, if you're into that sort of thing, really nice mats to play the game with. Super awesome. But yeah, I just love this game. They're amazing. Now, one game that I want to look up, it's one that I've not played on this channel before, but it's one that I've owned, had to sell it when I moved, and I regret never playing it, is the Rio Grande Games Dominion card game. This game, seriously, is up there with probably my top 10 favorite games of all time. This game is amazing. And so if you look right here, let's just put into perspective. The only thing you're seeing right now is this Dominion 2-box set for $45. But you have to understand, this game is huge. When we talk about volume of cards, this thing comes loaded. So the short answer to what this game is you kind of build your own table of cards, and you have a hand that you play with, and you're constantly purchasing new cards with currency cards and rebuilding your deck. And every time you play through your deck, you get 5 cards from your deck at a time, unless you got a special perk, and you discard and draw from that same deck of cards that you're building throughout the game. So it's a little touch of Yu-Gi-Oh! Again, when we talk about building your hand in your deck, it's similar to that, but it just comes loaded with cards. I've never had a game before, except maybe Doomlings would give it a run for its money because it's up there as this type of game as well. But it's one of those games where there's so many cards in the base game set that no matter how many times you play that game, it's going to be a new experience every time. Dominion is just amazing. And so the base game typically runs $40 to $50 because it's just hulking huge. The thing is massive. So looking at this, $45. The base game is $45 flat. Typically, you're getting Dominion, the base game, second edition, with an expansion pack for $45. This thing is amazing. And it looks like right there, it says it comes with extra base cards for 5 to 6 players. So what this acts as is it's an expansion, but it's the base game and then additional cards to accompany those base game cards. So it's not necessarily a total brand new expansion, which they do have. They have all kinds of expansions. This is actually adding on extra base game cards. But I'm telling you, one of the funnest games I've ever played. And at that price, $60 retail price, really, really good deal on that. I would seriously consider it. Dutch Blitz. If you've never played Dutch Blitz before, that is the definition of stress. This game is amazing and painful for your emotions. Seriously, check it out, but it's a lot of fun. We've looked through a lot of different games. What I want to look up now is card games in general and board games, because I get that a lot in this channel. A lot of people are like, Denver, why don't you review board games more often? I'm going to tell you why. One, because the how to play segment of the video goes from like 3 minutes to 25 minutes because board games have a lot more to them. And then secondly, board games are flipping expensive. If you've ever bought a board game before, it's so expensive. And I don't have the money to be blowing on board games all the time. If you ever want to donate board games, you just send them right over and I'll gladly take them. But that's why I typically try to stick with card games, but I will be reviewing more board games in the future. So let's look at some of these card games. We've already looked at a few of these: Taco versus Burrito, The Chameleon, Monopoly Deal, Play 9. Again, amazing game. Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza, Uno Attack, 5 Crowns. We've got some old classics like Racco and Rook. Those are some classic go-tos. Mantis card game, Dutch Blitz, again, popping up right there. A lot of those we've already looked at. Let's look up on Black Friday board games. Next, what I'd like to do is do some dice games. Okay, Amazon. Okay, Connect 4. I don't know that counts as a board game, but a good stretch. So Operation, again, we kind of enter the family game night territory right here. If you've got kids and you just need a easy peasy, really laid back game night, Connect 4 is a great one. Operation, again, some of these are so cheap. You're talking, guys, easy stocking stuffers. Right now's the time to be buying. I mean, buy them now while everything's on sale. Get it under the tree. You could buy so many different types of games for, under $50. You could own 5 or 6 different games with these prices. Battleship on sale for $13.49 out of $17. Monopoly Harry Potter, actually not a bad deal if you're into that sort of thing. $27.99 for $40. Monopoly Bluey Jr. Okay, there we go. We can teach kids early in life about the pains of bills. It's really sad that Bluey has to endure that at his poor age. Dogs don't live that long after all. Categories, you got $11.99 out of possible 20. That is an oldie but a goodie. If you've never played categories before, check it out. It's a lot of fun. We got Sequence. We've got Clue Juniors. A lot of kid version of these games. A lot of fun stuff, but I'll admit, not a lot on sale in terms of board games right now. Now let's look up dice games because I'm really curious about that. Let us take a look. See. Okay, we got Farkle. Farkle, not super cheap. Funny to say, though. $8.59 out of a possible $11. We got Yahtzee Disney Princess for all the Disney Princess lovers out there. If you're an adult, that's okay. Farkle, we got $5.18 out of, wow, Okay, 518 out of 13.99 for Farkle. I didn't even know that Farkle ran that much, but that's really cheap. If you need Yahtzee dice along with the cards, if you notice back in the day when you would play Yahtzee, you'd get the big box and you get this Yahtzee branded cup, the really old one. It was like a blue cup. That's one I grew up with. As I got a little older, turned into like this like weird like cuff looking thing. Or was like this small black cup that was kind of rectangular or square or whatever. Now it's just getting smaller and smaller. Now you literally just have 5 dice in a plastic container that you'll probably throw away along with the papers. But $7.99 for $11.99. I mean, at retail price, I've played Yahtzee more times than any other game in my life simply because I love it. I love dice games. I love Yahtzee. Super competitive. I can thank my dad and my family for that. We were all super competitive with Yahtzee growing up. And my dad always got snake eyes in Yahtzee whenever he wanted, but that's okay. So we got Yahtzee, $7.99 out of $12. Not too bad at all. We got Catan dice game coming up again. Again, amazing version of the game. $15 normal, $8.49. That game is a steal. It fits in the stocking. Get it. It's so much fun. We have Shut the Box dice game. That one is super fun. I actually played that for the first time as a youth pastor up in Alaska when my wife and I lived up there. Had no idea the game existed, but it was a lot of fun. It was a really good time. So, wow. Okay, now we just got all kinds of dice. I mean, you're talking, if you're like a Dungeons and Dragons player or whatever game you might be playing, they've got all kinds of multiple numbered dies on sale. It's insane. So many different kinds. And so right now, that's about it. Again, I would say that out of this whole search tonight, let's look it up again. Exploding Kittens, no doubt, has the best deals of the night. I mean, if we look through Exploding Kittens, I mean, just look at all these games. Every single one of them is on sale and practically anywhere from 40 to over 50% off, which is just insane. You're talking for $50, you could get 5 games. You're never going to get them that cheap anytime throughout the year. So I would strongly recommend looking into those. It's pretty awesome. Now, I know that I don't normally do streams like this, so thanks so much for sticking around. I don't know how long this stream has been going, but hopefully you've enjoyed it. The hope is that I can help you find games that are really cheap. And again, just dig yourself, right? Because you're going to look at Black Friday sales for the next 7 days. They're going to be running. And then we got Cyber Monday after that. Might even do a stream then for that. Sometimes the Cyber Monday deals can be better than the Black Friday deals. But there's games that go in and out all the time. Tomorrow, Catan could hit a massive sale. The day after that, Doomlings might be 50% off. Not saying they will be, but it's like, it's just normally how it goes. As the days go on, games can get super cheap and different games will go on sale. But if you'd like to follow me for more game reviews, for more streams, potentially like this one, when games are on sale, follow me at Games with Denver James on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook at that same name. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I will catch you guys later. And I'm now going to end this live stream and talk awkwardly while I hit the end stream. Here we go. Almost there.